I gave you my heart.
What's up, YouTube? It's Master Alex again with another video. But today isn't. But I'm making another episode to gaming stories because that thing just went skyrocket. 52 views in 21 hours. I want to thank y'all for that many views. I would have never thought I could do that ever. Okay, so I'm gonna do another. This is gonna be gaming stories episode 2. We're still looking at the PlayStation 5 because I never said everything I had about it. But at the end of this video, I'm gonna be checking your comments about the cartridges of the PlayStation 5. Even if y'all did make any comments about that, I'm gonna be checking it. But this video says it, then there will be no need. I'm still gonna see if y'all even put some comments there. That many views, I bet there's a bunch of comments. Let's go.
It looks like we've finally gotten some concrete information on Sony's next console. Mark Cerny, one of the lead figureheads behind the development of the PS4, has
We already knew that. You don't have to tell us.
went on record with an excellent interview from Wired, where he spills the beans and officially confirms some things about Sony's next PlayStation method.
Yeah, they're a horrible console if the cartridges are there. That's why we need to check the comments, or if it's spilled in this video, I'm still going to just see the comments.
They are working on. So if you haven't been following it at all, we're going to break it down with 10 things we now know. Starting off with number 10, the first thing we know is we know what CPU it's going to have. It's going to have an 8-core AMD CPU using
An 8-core AMD CPU using 7nm Zen 2. What? That doesn't even make sense. Let's just get back with the video.
7nm Zen 2 microarchitecture. To most people, that might sound like a bunch of words, and I totally feel you. Basically, it is based on
It is a bunch of words.
AMD's 3rd-gen Ryzen chip. So at the very least, with the way consoles are designed and manufactured, as of right now, that is a pretty up-to-date CPU. That can be
we already knew that.
Good for console gaming, especially if you couple it with the graphics. Over at number 9, well, we kind of know what they're using. The graphics are a variant of Radeon's Navi family GPU. The most interesting takeaway from this, besides the fact that it is AMD Radeon, is that it officially supports ray tracing. Now, for those...
Of course it does. We already knew the last... When I made the first video, we found that out.
Lighting is very, very graphically intensive. A lot of people have raised their eyebrows over this claim, seeing as how it's a challenge for a lot of PCs. How can a console do it? But if we're going to go on what they're claiming here, that it does support ray tracing, maybe with some new technical wizardry, that can make for some really impressive looking video games. The demos and examples we have seen of ray tracing so far are really, really impressive. And since we are talking about the technical stuff, the chipset also includes 3D audio support, something that Mark Cerny did go a little bit more in depth with.
3D can't be an audio type. What are you trying to do? Just put up a bunch of words just so you can have a reason to make a video? How stupid.
Saying how the PS3 to PS4, there wasn't really much of an upgrade in audio.
Duh.
The PS4 to PS5 to be a notable jump if you're wearing headphones, and I really appreciate that approach.
That's not a good thing.
Moving over to number 8, since we are talking about chipsets, we do know that this upcoming PS5, or whatever it's called, will support 8K displays, which is
8K. The worst thing that happened to all TVs. What are you trying to do? Put a number, next thing you know, we'll be all the way at 100-something K. It's stupid.
is absolutely insane. I'm already exhausted just thinking about it. I only got into 4K.
Of course, you're thinking about it.
It's not necessarily going to produce 8K native resolution graphics, but the fact that it will scale up and support 8K, I think, is good for future-proofing if we really do get to the point of 8K displays being that mainstream. Otherwise, expect a lot more, 4K support and stuff like that. Since
Duh.
The question is there enough power in this thing to give us full native 4K resolution gaming.
Of course it is.
That is, of course, the eternal question. I really hope that's where things
That
are going.
question,
But we're just gonna have to wait and see.
I'll answer that
Moving over to
question
number
for
7,
you. Yes.
an exciting confirmation. Sony did say that the PS5 will be backwards compatible with PS4 stuff. Considering the architecture is going to be similar.
Well, that's a very good thing. Because if they didn't do that, people would have been more angry than they were in the last generation and wouldn't be buying your console. Because if it's not backwards compatible, why were you even buying your system? Good on you, Sony.
Their PlayStation 4 games will be able to work on the next PlayStation, and I think that.
Wait, just PlayStation 4? What? Really? Just PlayStation 4? What do you think you are? Masterminds? That is stupid!
Fantastic news. They have to do stuff like this if they're going to start bringing out consoles earlier and earlier. You don't want a bunch of games that you just bought a year or two ago to be completely outdated and unusable, do you? It's nice to see backwards
Of course we
compatibility
don't.
coming back and being a thing between PlayStation and Microsoft. It's not perfect, but I do think with this next PlayStation, this PS5, moving forward to actively support PS4.
You mean PlayStation 5?
And generally
Boy.
a very good thing. But moving on over to number 6, since it is supporting PlayStation 4 stuff, Mark Cerny has confirmed that the current PSVR headset will be completely compatible with the PlayStation 5. Now, it's important to note that when pressed about, say, a sequel, a follow-up to the PSVR, which has been selling very well for a VR headset in the mainstream, Cerny was a bit more cautious.
Okay!
It is very important to them, and that is why the current PSVR will be supported on the console.
Duh, if it's going to be compatible with PlayStation 4 games, it has to be compatible with PlayStation
VR. Over to
VR.
number 5 for something a little lighter. Death
But who even uses PlayStation VR? It's a trash accessory that shouldn't be bought.
Stranding was brought up in this interview, and this is a little bit more.
What even
speculation.
is
Not
Death
too much. He
Stranding?
suggested that Death Stranding will be a cross-generational title, meaning something that squeezes out at the end of the PlayStation 4 generation, but will get a more improved version for PlayStation 5. According to the Wired article, a Sony spokesman did say that it's still coming out for PlayStation 4, but Cerny did smile and kind of pause a little bit, which makes it
Weird.
That's all we're going on.
That is kind of
Let's move on. At
weird.
number 4, another big concrete confirmation is the fact that this PlayStation will stick to physical media. It will have a disc drive. It's not going all digital. I'm all for pushing technology to the next generation, but I think
We just got our answer. It's not using cartridges. Good on you, Sony.
if it were to lose a disc drive and go only digital, it would alienate some players with worse internet connections.
Duh.
For the PlayStation 5, that's not going to be a thing. And
Good, that's not going to be a thing. If it was, what's the point of you? Why are we gaming on your console if that's a thing?
that especially goes in tandem with the fact that it is backwards compatible with PS4 games.
Yes, it
I'd like
does.
to assume that the disc drive will be completely up to date and be able to play 4K UHD Blu-rays.
Okay.
Just wishful thinking, though, as someone who still buys their movies physically. When asked about the future and game streaming and cloud services, Cerny did say, and I quote, "We are cloud gaming pioneers, and our vision should become clear as we head towards launch." Thankfully, it doesn't
Okay.
seem like it's going to take over the concept of the console, but we don't know. But down to number 3, something huge, and I think one of the more big game changer things for this console, and a lot of consoles moving forward in next generations, is the fact that it will have a solid state hard drive. An SSD, for those of you that
Okay. SSD stands for solid state drive. We already knew that.
don't know, is flash-based memory that is much faster than a traditional spinning hard drive disk, and it's all the rage in PC gaming right now. It's ultra fast, it's smaller, it's low profile, it's absolutely awesome, and people have been
Of course it's awesome.
consoles since its inception. And now, while we don't know exactly what type of SSD, what tech specs, what design, what manufacturer is going to be in it, Cerny did make it a big point of his presentation to show drastically improved load times. He actually demonstrated Spider-Man PS4's load times, when you're fast traveling on a regular PS4, and then he used it on a PlayStation 5 dev kit, and it cut the load times down to a fraction of a second. It went from 15 seconds to 0.8.
Dang. It went from 15 seconds to 0.8 seconds. Okay, now this is just lying. This is just straight up lying. There is no way that's true.
Seconds. Not only are load times improved, but it also just drastically changes how quickly game worlds can be loaded into
Okay.
the game. Honestly, for developers now knowing that they're going to be working base level with an SSD, they can do a lot. And I think that overall this could change and improve gaming a little bit. I think developers can work with this in a lot of interesting ways that we can't even see.
We get it.
Like I said earlier, we don't have any tech specs for it, but in the interview, Cerny did claim, and I quote, that it has a raw bandwidth higher than any SSD available for PCs right now. That could be a game changer.
Of
For me, on
course.
this list, that's the most exciting thing. So keep your eye on that.
Of course, it's the most
Number two, let's
exciting
talk about
thing.
pricing. This is something that actually wasn't featured in the piece, but thankfully the author, Peter Rubin, did go on Twitter to kind of show us what was left on the cutting room floor, and he shared this exchange between him and Cerny. He asked, "There's always been a general range of launch pricing. Will the next console hew to that range?" And Cerny replied with, "I believe that we will be able to release it at an SRP that will be a
SRP, suggested retail price. We already knew that.
appealing to
Hit
gamers
the
in light
dab.
of its advanced feature set." Peter Rubin followed up saying, meaning that it may cost a bit more, but what you're getting is well worth it. And Cerny said, "That's all I can say." So what
Of
I do
course.
think is that he is setting the ground for that this will be an expensive console, a powerful one at that, justified by its raw power. At least that's what it seems like they're gambling on. But I
Okay.
also expect it to not be too outrageously high, considering the initial launch price of the PS3 was so high that it kind of put a damper on the launch. I don't know if they would make that mistake again. I really hope not, but it could come close. Now, finally,
Yeah, it
number
could.
one thing that
Duh.
did confirm is that it's not coming in 2019. Now, things have been suggested.
Good on you, Sony. Don't push the thing out too early, or nobody will want your system. New decade, perfect time to make a system. Hit the tab again.
Before, we've kind of gotten murmurs of this, but 2019 will not be the year for the PS5. Thank
Good.
goodness. I can definitely still wait a little while. I don't know about you guys, but he did also say that a number of developer studios are already working with development kits, meaning they're making and developing games for this next-gen PlayStation console. So developers are apparently getting plenty of time to be able to work with the settings this thing is going to have, and
Okay.
that's exciting. So while it's not
Yes,
releasing
it
for
is
2019,
exciting.
It does seem like things are well on their way. If you follow gaming, you know this stuff is just really exciting to follow. And I'm very
Yes,
curious
it
to see what
is.
else Sony does. All of this stuff, again, is just little bits of information that we'll happily feast on, but it's probably going to be a little while until we hear more. But that's what this video is for, to keep you guys informed. And now we definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments what you think about these little details that have been officially confirmed for the
I want to know what
PlayStation
y'all
5 or
think.
next generation PlayStation, whatever it is. Anything you want to talk about PlayStation, Sony, the future of console gaming, let's talk down in the comments.
That's all. That's not all for today. I'm making another video, but that's all for this first video. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.